And welcome to my Pharmacy Profit Secrets webinar. Today you're going to learn some really cool strategies on how you can grow your pharmacy's profits, especially over the Christmas trading period. We're going to go through three main strategies to make it nice and easy for you. My goal for you at the end of the webinar is that you'll be able to move forward into this busy time with confidence and some great new tools under your belt to get the results that you really deserve. Here's some of the key things you're going to learn today. You wouldn't be on this webinar if you didn't want to increase your profit and get more sales. Do you find that you've got issues where you can't get enough customers through the door? Well, lucky you're on the webinar because that's exactly what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how you can get more customers through the door, but not only that, I'm also going to show you once they're there, how you can increase their basket size, and then how you can get those customers coming back time and time again. Now, it is so much easier to sell more to an existing customer than it is to get you new customers. That is true, but I'm going to show you the whole lot. I'm going to show you how you can get new customers, how you can increase your basket size, how you can keep your customers and keep them coming back more and more often, and ultimately increase your profits. All that within the next 60 minutes. So you'll walk out of this webinar and you'll be able to go back into your pharmacy and start working on some of these exercises to make more money straight away. Do you like that idea? Yeah. Cool. I know that many of you are struggling right now. It's a tough time to be in pharmacy, but in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can get more customers, more of the right sort of customers through your door, spending more often, and how to increase your profit. But before we start, I just have a little bit of housekeeping to run through. Firstly, just want to alert you to the control panel just to your right. You'll see that there are some buttons on that control panel. One of these is a hands up facility. It's there so when I ask you a question you can respond. So I'd like to take that for a quick test run now. Hands up those of you who want to triple your profit this Christmas. Pop your hand up. Cool. Great, thank you. All good. Okay, now down at the bottom of the control panel there's a question field. If you have any questions along the way, just type them into that box. I'll get to them at the end of the webinar. If I do miss your question, please be patient with me. I've got quite a bit to get through, but if you've typed it in that bottom box, I get a report at the end with all of the questions and I'll be able to answer it for you after the webinar. I'm also going to be muting everyone on the call, so that way we don't hear anybody else's background noise. If you do have a question, then just type it in the chat box. I'll answer it during the webinar if it fits in. If not, we will be having some Q&A at the end, so I'll answer it then. And as you will have gathered, I'm going to talk at a fairly snappy pace because I want to make sure that you get maximum value for your investment of time and you walk away from this hour with some great strategies that you can get some quick wins with. Now, in order for that to happen, I'm going to need some feedback from you. So when I ask a question, I need you to be actively involved and type questions in the chat box as we go along. That way I can make sure that you're understanding and getting value from these strategies. We're going to have a quick practice now. Please, if you could just put a yes in the chat box, just so I know that you can hear me. Okay. I'm getting a few. That's good. Now, I know I don't get, that we don't understand or know each other yet, so it's probably fair to let you know up front that I thrive on feedback and it really allows me to tailor my comments to help you more, but I need some commitment from you too so you can really benefit. So can I get a few more yeses now, please? Great. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Good to see we're on the same page. So let's continue. As I mentioned, there is a lot to cover in this webinar and I have so much more information to help you than I could possibly cover in an hour, but I'll show you some strategies so by the end of the webinar you can go back into the pharmacy and implement these strategies straight away with staff members. There is only a certain number of things I can cover in the 60 minutes. So during the webinar, I'm also going to show you how I can work with you further down the track to make sure that happens. So You know it's doom and gloom out there right now. You know that there's issues. You know that all these changes to the government regulations around prescriptions are making you suffer. I know this. I see this time and time again. The last thing I want to do is see you suffer and see pharmacies suffer. We need pharmacies to survive and thrive because you're the guys that care. Why sales and marketing matters is that if it isn't treated as an absolute priority by you and your staff, you're slowly going to go broke. More pharmacies are doing that these days, and I know you're aware of this or you wouldn't be here on the webinar today. Here are some facts though. More pharmacies have gone bankrupt in 2012 than in the 10 years before that. What I'm going to do is show you how to get more customers in and spending more often so you don't become a statistic. And in fact, 8.4% of pharmacies in the last year have either gone bankrupt or they're now in financial distress. I really don't want you to be the next one. Not only that, but you can expect price drops of 23% and a reduction in dispensary turnover of up to 9% as a result of those price cuts. And for the first time in 20 years, there's actually been a decline in the PBS in the last calendar year of 0.5%. That's usually a growth figure. Instead, it's not. And sales growth has also dropped from 3% to 1% in the last 2 years. So I think it's pretty clear and certainly well documented that unless you change the way you do business, and we're talking the next few weeks and months here, not years, then your profitability will be on a downward spiral, which will be really difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. Now, call me crazy, but I'm guessing if you knew the most effective way to increase your sales in a way where you truly believed you were adding value to your customers and doing it ethically and with integrity, then you'd already be doing it, right? It's about having the right sales and marketing strategies for pharmacies, sure, but it's also about you and just as importantly, your team being congruent with applying them. So today what I'm going to do is give you 3 great strategies you can take away with you and use tomorrow to immediately start to increase your sales and lift your profitability. What I can't do a lot of today is move you to a place and a mindset that will set you and your team up for long-term commitment to your business as well as to your customers, or even give you real conviction that focusing on your commitment to your business is just another way of adding even greater value to your customers. When you do that, your customers ultimately become raving fans of who you are and what you do. We actually have 2 whole modules in the program just on mindset to get and keep you and your team motivated. At the end of the presentation today, I'm going to give some of you an opportunity to be part of this exclusive program we've created. It takes all of my 20 years of professional experience and it combines it with the latest research and strategies in marketing and sales. These are the things that are working in pharmacy right now. I want to also let you know how you can access more information on sales and marketing in pharmacy today, so stay around till the end of the webinar for that too. Now you may be wondering at this point, who is this woman and why should I listen to her? How do I know she really gets the unique issues facing pharmacy in the current climate? And that's a pretty reasonable question. If it's okay with you, I'd like to just speak from the heart. Fact is, I'm on a mission. There's a reason I've been around pharmacy for the last 25 years. As a uni student, being a pharmacy assistant was a great part-time job. But what I saw working there through my student years later connected with my experience as a young mum, and I had a bit of a light bulb moment. Working in pharmacy, I was lucky enough to work with a group of people who genuinely cared about as well as for others. I realised that pharmacy isn't like regular retail. These people care and they make a difference every day when they come to work to literally hundreds of people. Fast forward a decade and my life has turned upside down with the birth of my first child. This time it was me relying on my local pharmacist for advice. I didn't have the time to see the doctor and there were so many little things I didn't know and they always knew what to do. I think I went there so much because they actually listened and they really understood. Most importantly, they gave a damn and they never minimised how I was feeling. Case in point, a friend of mine told me a story recently that really hit home. She had a new bub at the time and he was badly infected with what she didn't realise was thrush in his mouth. And of course it had transferred to her because she was breastfeeding. They were both pretty miserable and being new at the motherhood caper, she didn't know what the problem was. Thing is, when she went to her doctor, neither did he. He looked it up on the internet, made a diagnosis, gave her a script for some expensive cream, relieved her of $120 and then sent her off to the pharmacy downstairs. Now, the pharmacist took one look at the script and said, the problem is actually thrush and you'd be better off with this cream instead. She took his advice. It cost her $20. Bottom line, doctors are massively overworked. They can't know everything about everything. Pharmacists are absolute experts on a lot of everyday conditions, and it's quicker, more economical and often more effective to see them instead, at the very least as the first port of call, and not least because they actually care. And you know, I've never met a pharmacist that doesn't care, and that service and that caring is absolutely critical to every community. We're so distanced from our neighbours now, and often even from a community, that having somewhere to come where you're helped and cared about is a really important contribution. And I truly believe it's the thing that stems the flow of the isolation that's happening in our world. Supermarkets can't provide that, and discounters are focused just on cutting prices. That's fine for some customers, but ultimately everybody wants advice and support. So the next question, I guess, is who am I to help you get that message out and help you build your loyal customer base? Fair enough question. Here's why I can help you. First of all, I'm an organisational psychologist and I've specialised in human behaviour and the psychology of sales and marketing for the last 20 years. So not only do I understand your staff and how they think and feel, but I know and understand your customers too. Not only that, but as a psychologist and as a woman, I know how to appeal to and sell to your customer base, which, guess what, is mostly female. And I know how the pharmacy business works. I know your strengths. I know your Achilles heel. I've seen it as a pharmacy assistant. I've seen it when I was involved in wholesaling to pharmacies, and also as a psychologist working every day training and mentoring a whole range of personalities on how to manage others and how to sell. Okay, so we've got 60 minutes, so let's get into it. 3 strategies for how to triple your profits this Christmas so you start 2014 on a high with renewed confidence and vigour. You see, if you get a kick along now, then you'll be in a position to focus calmly and strategically on your marketing going forward. What this means for you is that you can enjoy business again and have the lifestyle you've always wanted, spending as much or as little of your time in the pharmacy as you want. So is it okay if over the next 60 minutes together I show you step by step how to create those sorts of results and give you the opportunity to do the same for you and your business? Please just type a yes in the chat box so I know it's fine for me to continue. Great. I'm getting lots of yeses. Thank you. That's terrific. Thanks very much. So these strategies are all about increasing the sales you make. But before you even do that, at Christmas, it's all about getting your existing customers in more often, and then once they're there, increasing basket size. So whilst it's tempting to go out and search for lots of new customers, and the Christmas trading period is a great time because more people are walking around and they're in spending mode, you need to be strategic about who you focus your sales and marketing efforts on, and it's much easier to get a sale from an existing customer and then to increase the size of the sale from someone who already knows, likes and trusts you. We've all seen that statistic, that the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%, whereas the probability of selling to a new prospect or a new customer is 5 to 20%. It actually costs 6 or 7 times more to get a new customer than to keep an existing one. What you might not know, though, is that a 2% increase in keeping your customers has the same effect as decreasing your costs by 10%. And a 5% reduction in customers leaving you can actually increase your profits by up to 125%. And that's pretty mind-boggling. When you add to that 80% of your future revenue will come from 20% of your existing customers, then the importance of focusing on your existing customer base can't be overestimated. But you do need to focus on them in the right way, and that means nurturing them. 70% of buying experiences are based on how the customer feels they're being treated, and that's where the nurturing comes in. Add to that the fact that a staggering 55% of customers would pay extra to guarantee a better service, and you realise that you need to sit up and take notice of how your staff treat your customers. So how can you give your customers the attention and care they deserve at a time of year where they're used to transactional buying and your staff are used to transactional customer service rather than selling? This isn't about price. We're not interested in being part of a race to the bottom. Your customers will happily come to you and buy more if you sell them what they want, but also give them what they need. You see, customer service is the new marketing. Derek Sievers, a guy who owns a business called CD Baby, also said something else that I think will really resonate with you. The single most important thing is to make people happy. If you're making people happy, as a side effect, they'll be happy to open up their wallets and pay you. What we're talking about here is much more than a smile and a pleasant greeting. It's about having a true, deep understanding of what your customer wants and needs beyond the obvious. A guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, who wrote, isn't that a great surname, who wrote a book called The Thank You Economy, said it's very logical. There's proven return on investment in doing whatever you can to turn your customers into advocates for your brand or your business. The way to create advocates is to offer superior customer service. And as my personal hero, marketing guru Seth Godin says, selling to people who actually want to hear from you is more effective than interrupting strangers who don't. So, how do you get more customers through your door? And what do we do when we get them in? We want to increase their basket size, right? First of all, you need to ask your customers to be part of the solution, not see them as part of the problem. Actually sit down and work out who your ideal perfect customer is for this trading period. Now, they may be different to whom you would want to market to the rest of the year, but we're talking about your peak trading period now. Your criteria are that there are a significant number of them. So they're a noticeable group or they're a demographic or a type. You want to know how often they come in, what their biggest problem is that they come to have solved, typically what they buy, how easy it is to fulfill their needs, and you want customers where you can fulfill their needs fairly easily. And you also want to know how much they spend in one transaction and how they like to have specials communicated to them, whether it's via catalogue, whether it's social media or mobile technology like a text or something like that. As I said, we're not necessarily talking about your typical customer here. We're talking about the one whose needs you can service better, quicker, more profitably, and where there's an opportunity to increase the size of the sale or get them in more often over this Christmas time. Fact is, when you can articulate their needs better than they can and then meet them, you create fanatical loyalty in your customers. It's not about being everything to everybody. If you try and do that, you'll be nothing to no one. What you need to do is focus on a specific group, sell them what they want, and give them what they need. Here's where you can easily increase basket size with your front of shop products. Now, in all my training, I always include a checklist of the exact questions that you'd ask a customer who could be your ideal perfect customer, so you can quickly, simply, but effectively tease out their key wants, needs, fears, frustrations. Most importantly, what you learn is how to uncover needs they've never articulated before or may not even have realised they had. When you know these, we teach you how to build your marketing around them so you easily and effortlessly increase your sales. That's how you increase basket size and frequency of visits, because you're tailoring really, your products and your services to their needs. You get them. So who'd be interested in finding out more about that? Please just put your hand up or pop a yes in the chat box. Now I'm getting a lot of yeses here, so that's terrific. Great, thank you. I'll put that on the agenda to talk about in a bit more detail later. In the meantime, make a list of the best ways you can get them in. It's not just about tailoring your promotions, but how you communicate them as well. Catalogues are well and good, but if you want to stand out, then imagine how much more effective it could be if you were to send a text to your ideal perfect customer group with a special on the one product that is their absolute number one want or need. And hey guys, there are so many things you can do. If you wanted to print flyers for a competition, for example, did you know you can get graphic designers design done for $5. You don't even have to pay for expensive graphic designers these days. There's a website called Fiverr.com, so that's Fiverr.com, that will create some of your graphics for $5. So if there's anything in your business you need to do graphics-wise or little tweaks, that's the place to go. Even better, your ideal perfect customer will be on Facebook along with the rest of the world. And you've got a very quick and inexpensive way to publicise the specials and the products that will be compelling for them. You really do need a Facebook page, and it's easy for you or one of your staff to set up a business page on Facebook. It only takes about 10 minutes. All you need to do is log into your account and create a page. There's all different categories you can choose. Given that you're most likely to be a local business, I would click on that as the option, and that way you can have your customers selling for you when they check in at your pharmacy. But you'll need to put some graphics on your page, and guess what? You can even get Fiverr to create the banner for your Facebook page. How cool is that? Look, Facebook is a whole other topic. I can't cover it in much depth today, but I can tell you I give my clients access to the latest and best Facebook and social media training, and we make it super easy for you to understand, even if you're not that familiar with the stuff yet. And speaking of social media, there's another excellent way to get your ideal customers into the store at this hottest, most competitive trading period of the year, and that's Twitter. So Twitter is deceptively powerful. Put it this way, customers are 75% more likely to purchase from a brand, and that means either you or your key products that they already follow on Twitter. Now, let's think about that for a minute. If you knew exactly what your customer wants and you can give it to them, imagine what can happen if you advertise to the same demographic on Facebook or on Twitter. The word gangbusters comes to mind. Now, I'm not sure how many of you here on the webinar know what Twitter is exactly, so let's do a quick poll so I know whether you need a thumbnail sketch of what it is or not. So just in answer to the question, do you know what Twitter is? If you can just pop in the box either yes, kind of, or no. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm getting quite a lot of kind ofs and a few no's. So here's a 30-second explanation on what it is. Twitter is a service for friends, family and co-workers to communicate and stay connected through the exchange of quick, short messages, and frequently. They go frequently. So people write short updates of a sentence or two called tweets, which are posted to your profile. They're sent to your followers and they're searchable on Twitter Search, which is like a search engine. So what's really important to know is that friends' endorsements, whether they're discussed in real life or through Facebook or Twitter updates, really increase your sales. You also get the opportunity to bring in new customers that way because people tend to retweet, so in other words share, great specials to their friends who match the same profile. Hey presto, new customers. And you haven't even stepped outside your door. Come on, I'm sure you have at least one Generation Y employee who could tweet some great specials out for you. How do you get to these customers? Well, as I said, I'm sure you've got a Gen Y employee or maybe even someone at home who could easily put together a little ad for Facebook. They're cheap as chips and really targeted. You can even find a lookalike audience of people just like your customers, but they haven't found you yet. And that way you can advertise them. It's pretty easy for someone who's familiar with Facebook to do, or we actually teach this exact strategy step by step in the program. So we hear a lot about how important it is to get on social media for your marketing. I know a lot of pharmacy owners are really getting that message, but plenty are feeling a bit bewildered about where to start, and that's understandable. Our generation sure wasn't born knowing this stuff. But for your pharmacy to be the best it can be and really make a difference in your community, you just can't ignore social media anymore. And it's actually really doable. It'll put you ahead of your competitors. Most of them aren't really savvy with this stuff yet. What's even better is that in terms of your time and money investment, you get major bang from your butt from social media. So later, what I'm going to do is offer you something that will absolutely fast track the setup and your bottom line success using social media, so you get it done the right way and get the results you deserve. So who here would like to hear a bit more about that? Right. Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, so thank you for those responses. So the great thing about this strategy is that when you apply it, when you take a few minutes to identify your ideal perfect customer, brainstorm with your staff and then ask your customers about their critical needs and wants, and tailor your promotions and how you communicate them to them, you get them coming in more often and being more loyal as well as spending more with you. So price becomes irrelevant when customers feel that they're heard, understood, and their needs are articulated and genuinely responded to. They'll come from miles around. Which brings us to a really important question, and that is, how switched on is your staff when it comes to selling? It's great to understand your customers, but do you understand your staff's motivators and how to help them actually want to put themselves out of their comfort zone to really help the customer? Let's run another quick straw poll. When it comes to selling, my staff are totally on board, love it, proactive, no problem, all good. They're willing, but they're a bit nervous, maybe a bit unsure or not wanting to appear salesy or pushy, or they're content to be helpful and friendly, but not really prepared to sell. So if you could just respond there, that'd be great. Interesting. Interesting, but not that surprising. What I'm seeing here is a lot of people with staff who are, more of the customer service, content to be helpful and friendly, but not really into the whole selling thing. A few who are willing but a bit nervous. William Clement Stone made the point that sales are contingent on the attitude of the salesperson, not the attitude of the prospect. You see, understanding your ideal perfect Christmas customer is critical. Who gets that? It's really about knowing your customer, and as you know your customer, your success will actually increase. Without that, your marketing is all over the place, and a scattergun approach is not going to bring them in or make you money. Knowing the needs, the wants, fears and frustrations of your ideal perfect customer allows you to laser focus your marketing so they come in ready to buy something. That's great, but if you want to increase your basket size, then your staff have to be motivated to fully service their needs beyond the basic transaction. And that means having a deeper conversation with them or communicating with them in the most effective way. Have you reached that point yet where you or your retail manager knows how to get them excited about doing that? Well, the results from that quick poll show no. Pharmacy staff typically are reluctant, and yet it's having proactive staff providing excellent high quality customer service, and that includes selling, that is going to turn those ideal perfect customers from happy customers to engaged committed customers who buy more often. Looking at it from the other side, what happens if your staff don't sell? They just act as customer service people. Well, what happens is that you will make 5 times less money because of call reluctance. Or really what we're talking about in a pharmacy environment is reluctance to sell. Unmotivated employees take twice as many sick days. They're 5 times more likely to leave within the next year. They're 56% less likely to recommend friends use the product or service that they represent, and they don't innovate, they do not problem solve, and they do not take responsibility. On the other hand, businesses with higher than average levels of employee engagement have 27% higher profits, they have 50% higher sales, 50% higher customer loyalty levels, and 38% above average productivity. Plus, your employees won't just stay, their attitude will be better, which will improve customer service. So, for example, 41% of customers are loyal to a brand or a business because they experience good employee attitude. This means a true understanding of the customer needs and a habit of selling relevant products in a caring, authentic way to meet that need. When they do that, the customer really benefits, and so does the staff, because they know that they're genuinely making a difference in the work they do. Being proud of consulting and offering a real service to the customer that has value for the customer, which in turn makes them even more valuable to you, their employer, especially as 68% of customers will leave a company or a brand or a business because of poor employee attitude. It's not about price. If it was, you'd already be out of business. You retain your customers on the strength of the trust and relationship you and your staff have with them. That same trust and relationship is the vehicle for meeting their needs more effectively and increasing your sales and ultimately your profitability in the process. Your staff need to understand this too. Knowledgeable and attentive employees account for 80% of the reasons consumers feel satisfied. Pretty powerful stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. There's a great book I read called The Leader Manager, and in it the author John Williamson gives this great example of the subtle challenge of creating motivation. He says when he wants his puppy to move, he can hold up a dog biscuit and the puppy will move. But who's actually motivated? The pup wants the biscuit, but it's the owner who wants the pup to move. You, the pharmacy owner, are the one who's motivated, and your staff members are the ones who move. So what value do you place on getting the puppy to move? I think it's time for another quick poll. So staff motivation needs to be your major focus if you're to increase sales and profitability. You see it as somewhat important or it's unimportant. Okay. So most of the responses I'm getting are around major, about it being a major focus, a couple with somewhat important, but my guess is that, you know, you're here today because you realise that this is one of the important aspects. Now, we know as human beings, and especially as business owners, that we can't settle for where we are today, and that's why you're on this webinar. I can give you some quick insights today to get your staff moving in the right direction, and in fact motivating your staff and sustaining that motivation is pretty easy when you have the right system in place. That's provided very early in the program because without it you can't increase your sales. It's a basic building block to increasing your profitability, and you need it now while you have your busiest trading period and the opportunity to take those small regular transactions and use them to cement your customers' loyalty and increase their basket size, right? So who here knows how to move your staff from a place of reluctance to a genuine commitment to meet the customer's needs and use selling as the vehicle to do that? Please just type a yes or no in the chat box so I know your thoughts on this. I'm getting a lot of no's here. So most people are saying they don't know how to get their people to be committed. So what is the quickest way to motivate your staff? And no, it's not about money. There was a McKinsey quarterly survey in 2009 that showed there were 3 non-financial motivators that were more effective motivators than the 3 highest rated financial incentives. So those were praise, which was said to be 67% of the respondents said was an extremely or very effective motivator. Leadership attention, which came in at 63%. So that's things like one-on-one conversations and a chance to lead projects or task forces, and that came in at 62%. The 3 highest rated financial incentives just didn't stack up. They were cash bonuses at 60%, increased base pay at 52%, and there were stock options as well. The survey's top 3 non-financial motivators play critical roles in making the employees feel that you value them, that you take their well-being seriously, and that you aim to create opportunities for personal growth and valuable experience. And these are themes that recur constantly in most studies on ways to motivate and engage employees. A big reason your staff work in a pharmacy, not a supermarket or a gift shop, is because of their instinct to care for and help customers with their problems. They need enough money to cover their basic needs, but job satisfaction comes from contribution, from variety, from having connection with other people, and in many cases it's about personal growth and making a difference. These are all much stronger motivators. So here are 3 easy things you can do to tap into that motivation and connect it with selling so they've got an enthusiasm for it, knowing it has value for the customer. Firstly, help them attach meaning to what they do. They used a beautiful example of this in a Ken Blanchard book I read once. He talked about dishwashing in a university cafeteria. Meaningless, menial work, right? Wrong. Think of the impact those students in the CAF were going to have on the world. Business leaders, doctors, chemists, researchers. One load of unclean bacteria-infested dishes could wipe out a whole class. Look at it in terms of human impact. Also, consider the fact that many students arrive tired and hungry. The person washing the dishes is an important part of the chain that's providing nourishment in their lives. What a gift to give another human being. And as well, being able to eat safely away from home is at the foundation of social civilization. It just doesn't get more important than that. So have a conversation with your staff about their work, and understanding how meaningful it actually is will give them greater motivation to genuinely find out what customers' needs are beyond "can I help you?" and be prepared to sell them solutions because they're contributing to the customer's health and quality of life, not selling boxes with barcodes on them. It completely takes the ick factor out of selling. Help your staff see the end result of their work. If they sell a product to a customer, ask for feedback from the customer on how it helped them, and then share that feedback with the rest of the team. Now when you talk about the products, it's not about selling them, it's about how they helped a customer improve their quality of life, and that's a more noble cause. As an added benefit, this begins to convert your pharmacy staff from being transactional sellers into consultative sellers. And this is an evolution that usually coincides with higher margins and greater customer loyalty, not a coincidence. The next thing you need to do is make work fun. A bit of competition, a bit of friendly competition is fun. So create a prize for whoever sells the most fragrances, for example, or make it something that would be popular and appreciated by most of the team, or give them a target to aim for, something achievable that they can reach and be proud of and acknowledged for. Thirdly, empower each person with a special project or a task. Your staff want to feel needed and valued and relevant. Here's a great way to motivate them and keep them accountable in a measurable way where they can see their achievement. Even a new challenge, something small like selling to a different type of customer or selling a different solution, can increase the person's motivation to sell. And remember, the most undervalued words in the English language are thank you and I value you. So use them often and authentically as much as possible. Fact is, though, most of us aren't born knowing how to lead and motivate other people, let alone create a positive synergy in our teams. But there is a 5-step formula I've created that helps you do that, and I share it with all my clients. It's so practical that when they've implemented it, they've seen their team motivation jump by up to 50% in a matter of weeks. And that's long-serving, long-term staff who are nice people, but they've never been able to get them to really cooperate and grow. Once they've learned from the training which buttons to push, it's switched on a light inside their staff like never before. I've got one more excellent sales strategy I want to share with you in a moment, but first I want to offer you an opportunity to really take your business to the next level. Look, what I've been able to do today is give you a taste of what you can achieve quickly and cheaply, really with just a tiny bit of effort, to make a sustainable long-term improvement and growth in your profitability. You're going to need a good marketing plan that works, a consistent team involvement, and external support to keep it all on track. And the fact is, you're not there yet, are you? You'll go back to the store, your emails will come in, your staff members will come in, customers will claim your attention, the phone will keep ringing, and you're right back there where you were. Time gets in the way. I understand that. Life gets in the way, and it's too easy to go back to the way it's been. And you know what? We're all the same. It's not your fault. It's just human nature to gravitate back to that default position. But that default position is causing your business to suffer a slow, painful death as your profitability continues to dwindle. I'm here to shake you up, and I make no apology for that. You already know that at the end of the day, if you don't hurry up and commit to making changes in your business, make them, and this is the important bit, sustain that effort as well as the changes, then that knot in your stomach every time you think about the supermarkets and discounters eating into your profits in the front of the shop and the government slicing and dicing your margins at the prescription counter is going to get bigger. That knot in your stomach is not going to go away. But I'm going to show you guys how you can turn the tide and make this happen. You're going to walk away from this webinar and you're going to get busy and forget, and life is going to get in the way, but you have to do something. You know you have to do something. So I'm going to take the time now and show you, and honestly, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you how I can work with you to achieve all this. I'm going to take the time now to show you how I can help you, because if I didn't, you'll walk away from here and nothing will change. 1 hour is not enough. What we're offering is an end-to-end marketing program that's been designed specifically for pharmacy. It's based on a combination of my deep knowledge of pharmacy, of team dynamics and buyer behaviour, and cutting-edge marketing principles that are working in retail pharmacy today. And when I say working in pharmacy right now, let me tell you, there are only a very few pharmacists globally that know and are working these principles. So if you're eligible to do this program, and not everybody will be, then you'll be part of an exclusive club getting the jump on your competitors. And best of all, you can involve your retail manager so it takes very little of your time, and it should increase your front of shop sales by at least 10% and your profitability by as much as 30%. You see, it takes a lot more than just marketing principles to make a sustainable improvement to your bottom line. And so I've included simple strategies with exact steps to follow to create the time for you and your staff to work on increasing your pharmacy's profitability. Through the program, I also teach you how to get and keep your team motivated to sell, teach them the skills they need to do that with integrity and heart, but also with professionalism, so your customers feel cared for and are given maximum value at all times. So let's go into a little more detail about what's included in the marketing program. First of all, you get 12 months of full unrestricted access for you and your retail manager or store manager to the online resource library. It has all the exercises and workbooks for the 10 key learning modules. These are the building blocks you need to increase your front of shop sales by at least 10%. Why we provide it online is so you can go at your own pace. You can do a module a month and you'll solidly embed these principles into your team and your business at a pretty measured pace. Some of you will want to get results much more quickly than that. If you do, you could do a module each fortnight and give your business and your profits a total makeover in 5 or 6 months. Totally your call. Does the idea of creating more time for yourself as well as making more money appeal? I'll bet. Well, what we've done is give you the flexibility to involve your staff in the program. And this way, imagine having a look at the workbook for that module with your retail manager, and then she goes off and does the exercises. She's the one involving the rest of your team, and you just project manage it and analyse the results. See, that way you have time for other things while they're making sales for you. And to make this even more appealing for your retail manager, besides having a unique opportunity to increase her skills, which of course is going to make her more marketable as well as more knowledgeable, she can be the one to receive the qualification on completing the program, which is a Certificate 4 in marketing. The added kicker for you is, because you've been working alongside her on the implementation, you're eligible for professional development points as well. So, what else is included? Well, there's the 7 keys to increasing your staff's and your own productivity by up to 30%. This alone will free up your time and energy for marketing, which of course will translate directly to increasing your bottom line profitability. You'll also get 6 simple but amazingly effective strategies to create the kind of staff motivation that'll make them pretty much self-managing, totally proactive and actually keen to build your business because they get a sense of personal achievement from it too. In addition to that, you'll get a foolproof model of leadership, which is invaluable for you or your retail manager to follow, so you can keep your team on track and united in fulfilling the vision that you have for your pharmacy. Having that will mean you can live the lifestyle you want with the business success you need. You'll also get a complete streamlined system for your managers to use, which will assess accurately and, just as importantly, effectively manages staff performance, so you don't have to be involved and you can instead focus on working on your business rather than getting stuck in your business. We also provide the exact template you need to deeply and quickly understand your pharmacy's customers, and to do that so effectively that you'll be able to articulate and meet their wants and needs better than they can themselves, as well as learning how to sell to them the way they want to be sold to. What that creates is a fanatically loyal customer base who trust you and refer their friends. Imagine the security that gives you and what that does for your profitability when you can predict what they want to buy, how often, and in what quantities. It'll significantly reduce you having slow-moving or dead stock. Now, here's another really important inclusion. I'm going to give you exclusive access to a done-for-you sales training system for your manager to implement with the rest of your staff. What this does is turn each team member effectively into a sales powerhouse. So they maximise your front of shop sales gracefully and with integrity, and your customers will just buy and buy and buy. What's really key here is your employees love doing it because they're genuinely helping your customers, and your customers feel understood and love having their needs properly met. There are also 10 subliminal secrets in marketing that only one pharmacy owner I know has ever even heard about, but I'll teach them to you, and they really give you an unfair advantage over the competition, making customers rush to buy from you instead. You'll also want access to this special five-step method to radically increase your customer base in 90 days. What it does is bring in a deluge of new customers that fit your ideal customer profile without you having to move outside of your pharmacy to get them or rely on foot traffic for them to find you. And to make sure everything you learn in this course is implemented and measured, we've included a breakthrough planning formula so you can effortlessly stay on track. So we're not talking about SMART goals here. We've moved way beyond that. This is really advanced stuff which will keep you absolutely on course. Plus, and this is really cool, a complete done-for-you marketing campaign with swipe files. So all you need to do is drop in your pharmacy's information and the products you know your customers want, and just watch your sales skyrocket. Now, I know that's a lot of valuable information and training, and in 2014 I'll be offering this course for $3,495, and that's great value given you'll not only learn about sales and marketing but also leadership, productivity and staff motivation. What you're receiving isn't just the right system to increase your pharmacy's profitability quickly and sustainably, but a way of benefiting your customers and staff, and best of all, you can get other people to run it for you. So $3,495 is pretty much a steal, right? But I'm really passionate about seeing pharmacies thrive, and so today I'm going to offer a discount to the first 20 people who join the program. Why am I doing this? Well, first and foremost, I always love to reward action takers. They're the ones who are going to be successful in implementing the program and increasing their business. That's good for them, it's good for me as the trainer, and it's good for the communities that really need these pharmacies. A more switched on pharmacy will thrive and be committed to giving maximum value to their customers, and that's what I'm all about. Really, it's a win three ways. That said, I'm respectful of the fact that we're coming into the most hectic trading period of the year for pharmacy, so I'm going to take care of you and make sure that although we're closing enrolment for this first intake really soon, the program won't actually begin until February, when everyone has resumed normal transmission, so to speak. I also want testimonials for this new program. It's based on 20 years experience and knowledge and up-to-the-minute research and strategies. It's also been created in today's market conditions in pharmacy. You'll finally be able to get a head start on your opposition. In fact, you'll eat their lunch before they've even realised you've helped yourself to their sandwiches. Now, I only have time to work directly with 20 people and make sure they get the results they want. So if you want me as your personal marketing consultant tailoring the program for your situation, you'll need to get your skates on. And it is really important to me that you are successful. This is the part most programs never include, and I am passionate about delivering value. So much so that if you complete all the modules successfully and keep your sales metrics, and you can show us that you've failed to increase your front of shop sales by at least 10%, then we'll refund your entire investment and you get to keep all the materials. That's a 100% money back guarantee. If you can honestly come to me at the end of 12 months and you've implemented everything I've told you to do, and you can honestly say you haven't learned or achieved anything, I'll not only give you your money back, but for wasting your time, I'll double your money back. But you do have to come to me and show me that you've implemented everything that I've said and not achieved anything. Really, can I be fairer than that? And because I really want to make sure you get everything you need to make your success with the program an absolute certainty, I've also included some great extra bonuses. The first one is a 3-day closed-door live workshop for pharmacy owners. It's full of all the latest sales and marketing strategies. Most importantly, I show you how to implement them straight into your pharmacy so you hit the ground running as soon as you finish the workshop. The value of this workshop alone is $2,497. But we're also giving you 2 tickets to a 1-day workshop on how to generate a new stream of income using your current resources. Intriguing, hey? You might be wondering as well, why 2 tickets? Well, this is so you can bring your store manager or your retail manager along who can then do all the heavy lifting for you when you get back to the pharmacy. This workshop would normally cost $1,790. And I also want to give you 2 tickets to another workshop we're running on how to get new targeted customers through your door, and that's valued at $1,790. And of course your staff need to be able to sell. So to support the efforts of your retail manager in training them, I'm providing 6 webinars for them to dive deeper into how to sell to your customers. That's valued at $3,600. These interactive webinars really bring the sales strategies to life for your staff. It allows them to try them out, tweak them, and get the support of experts to develop this important life skill that will directly benefit your profitability as well as their enthusiasm for their work. It's also critical that you have the right people on your team to make this all happen. And let's face it, staff come and go. It's an expensive, time-consuming headache to replace them though, right? So what we've done is added into the bonuses a special, foolproof, done-for-you recruitment system that anyone in your pharmacy can easily use to attract, engage and hire the right people every time. The thing to pay careful attention to here is anyone can use it successfully. That means you can empower any one of your staff to handle recruitment now, and they'll have the tools they need to get it right. And that's valued conservatively, I might add, at $997. Finally, for this intake only, I'm making myself available for 10 live 1-hour mastermind question and answer sessions. I realise many people really enjoy that interaction as a way of learning. Being able to listen and question and contribute is great, isn't it? So here's a great way for you to share your challenges and get advice personalised to your pharmacy's needs. At my consulting rate, that works out at a value of $6,000. Now, as I said, I love to reward action takers, and I want you going into Christmas with the comfort and anticipation of a red-hot program that is going to make a significant positive impact on your bottom line in 2014. And yes, I know I've given you some fantastic strategies today that you can capitalise on for this Christmas, but I don't want to leave you hanging until February. And I've seen what happens. How many of us have attended a webinar or an event, come away totally inspired, but have had to wait too long for the next action step and in the meantime lost their momentum? I know I have. So what I've done for those of you who joined the program today is I've created a special secret sales and marketing hot strategies program that will be delivered to your inbox weekly. This is a standalone program that would retail for $497. You'll get simple but effective tweaks that you can implement immediately to get some more quick wins over the Christmas trading period. Now, we've trawled the globe for these so you can quickly increase your profits without wasting time on trial and error like a lot of other pharmacies have had to do. And as a special gift for you today, just because I'm feeling generous and full of the Christmas spirit, I'm also going to give you 12 world-class summaries of the best business and self-development books of all time. And you can read these over the holidays. Now, I am an avid reader of business books. These are the best of the best. These summaries will save you hours of reading. And as you would have gathered by now, I'm all about cleverly leveraging your time. And here you can absorb and implement the gold in super quick time, moving you towards the business of your dreams at warp speed. This gift is worth $297. Ultimately, what's really important is that you get back to growing your business and providing massive values to our communities who need you. So I'm going to do something extra special to make sure it's within the reach of whomever of you want this for yourself as passionately as I want it for you. So instead of $3,495 for this program, I'm making it $2,495 for the first 20 people who sign up via this webinar. Never mind the value of the program, the bonuses alone are worth $17,500 and you get a full money back guarantee. Remember, you also receive 12 months access to all the online resources. You get face-to-face time with me in practical workshops, done for you templates and systems for marketing, recruitment and sales. You get sales webinars for your staff, live Q&A sessions where we mastermind your business, as well as sales and marketing advice to help you over the Christmas trading period. I'm only holding this price for a short time, and these extra bonuses for those people who are able to apply for the February intake. We've got limited places and we really want to work closely with you, and that's why we've limited the number of places at this price point. So we want to make sure you're successful, and I would suggest that you click on the link in your chat box, which I'm about to put up, to make sure that you don't miss out. So give me a moment. And I'll just type that in. Just check I've got the spelling right. There we go. Okay, so I'll give you a moment now to do that, and then we'll continue with the third and final strategy for today. Okay, and we're back. So let's finish up with the third strategy to quickly and easily increase your profitability over this Christmas period. Once you've identified your ideal perfect customer, you have the opportunity and the knowledge to bring more of them in at this lucrative time of year. And the better you understand your customer, the more you can tailor your offers to them. Specialise. Of course, getting more of them in the door more often is only the first step. Next, you need to make sure that your staff are firing on all cylinders. So they're willing and motivated to build the relationships and trust and increase basket size in the process. Then it comes down to selling skills, and most particularly selling skills that are ethical and appropriate for a pharmacy. Now that's tackled in depth in the program. Who gets that? Being comfortable with and using selling skills is really what it's all about. Please just raise your hand or pop a yes in the chat box if you would. Great. Excellent. Cool. Okay. Thank you for that. Good to see we're all on the same page. You're all successful people, and with that comes a responsibility to serve. To make sure that your team is doing that in order to make a difference in customers' lives, I'm sure you appreciate that. The key here is not to sell a product. What your staff need to do is sell what it can do for the customer. Once you've attracted your ideal perfect customers in the door with your offer, remember this golden rule. People buy for emotional reasons and justify with logic. There's a third element that impacts their buying decisions too, and that's a tendency to look for reasons to avoid buying. Napoleon said, men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. In other words, emotions. So once you know your customers' wants, needs, fears and frustrations, that knowledge guides you to what products are going to meet their needs and wants. We're people selling to people. It's not enough to truly understand your customers. You and your staff need to be really clear in what benefits your customers will gain from using the product, and it goes way beyond physical benefits to actual emotional benefits. You see, when staff understand what those are, they speak with conviction because they know it would be a crime for the customer not to buy the product and benefit from it. It's not about the money. It's about the value they provide to the customer, making a difference to their lives by understanding them and advocating for them so they get the best advice and products to solve their problems and improve their health and well-being, or the health of their family for that matter. At the end of the day, if your staff members go home knowing they've actually truly helped people and made a difference, they'll come to work enthusiastic and prepared to do what it takes in order to help customers live better lives. It might be a particular vitamin that makes the difference, a fragrance which makes them feel good, or a different brand of shampoo that can give them a lift. It's about making a difference in the world. When they get that, then it's okay to give the customer a contrast to get them to buy the product and experience the benefits. What I mean by that is it's okay to build some pain when it's for a good purpose. Most people are motivated by avoiding a negative more than moving towards something positive. Tony Robbins talked about the pain versus pleasure principle and the fact that as human beings, we're driven more to avoid pain than move towards pleasure. So then it's pretty clear how you structure your story in talking to the customer. Build the pain and show how the product benefits them. And you do that in a way where you build a picture of what life will be like for them with using this product, what they'll see, what they'll hear, most importantly, how they'll feel. What are the emotions they want to feel? That's what you highlight in your solution. This is a really simple whiteboard exercise you do with your staff, and then just a quick role play for practice. Fact is, when you know your customer, when you're motivated to sell from your heart using a technique like this, it's incredibly effective because it marries up with trust, which Stephen Covey described as being the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. In fact, it's the foundational principle that holds all relationships. That trust comes from the customer, and equally your team have trust in themselves and the relevance and value of their message. That's an immediate way that they will increase your sales over this Christmas period. Look, all I've done is scratch the surface here. You get excellent support in the training program with personality profiling tools and communication templates, so your staff know exactly how to read your customers and then tailor their communication to make sure that their message is heard and acted on. It looks like magic, but it actually feels really normal and enjoyable for your customers. And so typically customer service people love the system because it's easy and it helps them make their difference, and customers respond really well to it. Okay, so I trust those strategies have been immensely valuable and will make a real difference to your Christmas results this year. So listen, we've got a few minutes. I know we're 2 minutes over time, but we've got a few minutes to answer some questions, although quite a few of those questions that you're asking already through the webinar, you're going to find out in the marketing program anyway. Okay, here are some questions. Let's have a look that have come through on the chat box. So let me answer those for you first. I'm being asked, when does the program start? It will be the 1st of February. That will kick off. You'll receive an email with your login details and you'll get immediate access to all the modules. Let's see. Jeff asks, is the program only about marketing? What about getting staff on board? Yep. That's really important. It's far more than just the marketing. If we gave you just the marketing campaign and the sales skills, they're useful, but what's more useful is getting people into the right mode so they're able to use those. And so we spend quite a bit of time working on that and getting your staff up to speed with the need for it as well. Let's see. Any other questions coming through here? Paul asks a great question. Can I leave it completely to my retail manager? Yes, you can. is the short answer to that. If you want some CPD points, you'll need to get involved a little bit as well, but there's no reason why you can't just have your retail manager running the whole thing and just have her check back with you as to what, what the progress is and so on. And you'll be checking as well your own bottom line results, the size of your average transaction, the number of lines that people are purchasing, what products and so forth. So it would just be part of your everyday running of your business. Okay. Looks like most of the questions have been answered now, so if you haven't already, then go to the bottom of the chat box and you'll see we've posted up the link you need to register for the program. So click through now and enter your details and and you'll be able to hit the ground running in February 2014 when the program starts. And remember, if you want to learn more or get support in implementing the content, then go to the address on your screen, pharmacyprofitsecrets.com/cert4, CERTIV, or you can click on the link at the bottom of the chat box and I'll see you on the other side. Finally, I want to thank you so much for participating today, and I really look forward to seeing you on the inside. Bye for now.